Hi, hello, good evening, and good day, whatever it is, wherever you are. This is Strat Chat, and tonight we are chatting Australian Survivor. This is week 3, all right? February 15th, where we are, possibly the 16th, where you are. No. Stupid. No shortage of things to discuss this week, okay? Because once again, this season is popping, crack-a-lacking, lots going on. So I'm already 11 minutes late. So let's just hop into it, huh? I am Kyle Petty, and I'm joined, as always, by my festy besties, my favorite survivors, people of my tribe, my tribe mates. Oof, really went through a lot there. John Donahue and Gina Regino, and this is Strat Chat, arguably your favorite reality TV podcast. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We are everywhere you want to be, better than your visa. Y'all crazy. All right, lots to get into. We're going to be relying on our friends at Wikipedia for updating the website and getting us through this whole thing. So, Kelly was supposed to be the saboteur, right? And she went over to the Rebels tribe, and she had claimed to have been in charge of the Nathan vote. Right. She said she was the one that kind of led the charge on that one to make sure that Nathan went. And when everybody asked her, why do you think that? Did you see Nathan go? She said, I didn't see him go. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about that, but I know what happened and I know I did it. Which is an interesting thing because, like, watching it, obviously, because we knew that Nathan did go. It's like you almost want to give her some credit because what she said was going to happen did. Do we think that the show kind of robbed her a little bit? Was she maybe a little bit more in charge of this than they led us to believe?
I couldn't she said it and I was like, did you do that? I couldn't remember if it had just been so long that I didn't remember it happened, or if it I don't know.
Right. I was like, there was nothing that I saw that would have led me to believe that she was the line leader on that one. But she knew what happened and she didn't know what happened. So
I don't remember seeing anything that would lead me to believe that she was responsible. And it would just be very weird to me to think that this whole tribe of Titans, Kelly would just show up and be like, this is who we're getting out. And they'd be like, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Whatever you say.
Right.
That feels weird to me.
Yeah, really, really strange. I don't really know where that came from, but she was right. And also, now that we think about it, once they saw that Nathan was voted out, no one gave her any credit for that either. Like, all right, so Kelly was right. Just fuck Kelly, I guess.
It was never spoken of again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now, because wasn't it was it Caroline and Kitty? Weren't they scheming about something at some point? I forget.
I don't remember.
They're always scheming.
It feels like so long ago.
Yeah.
Carolyn, her evil eyes.
Boop.
Yeah, we'll certainly get to that.
She does a lot of creeping and following people around.
Right. And I mean, since we're on her, you want to like her. You want to say, oh, she's playing this game right, because she definitely is making some good decisions in terms of her game. She just skeeves me, but skeeve is not the right. That almost makes it sound too innocent. she gives me the ick. I'm very turned off to her, and I don't know why. Like, there's just something in her face that looks very dastardly.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like the edit has definitely at certain points, like it'll have her like it'll pan to her face, the camera, and it'll do one of those little like jump scare noises, like and like as it pans to her face.
And I always go, "Ow!"
And she always will have this like intense look, like
yes.
So like I feel like that's probably why, because I've had the exact same feeling. I'll look at her and be like, I don't really dislike Caroline, but there's something very unsettling.
Yes, I'm very, very turned off. Like, she's giving me like nastier than like the heat miser. You know heat miser.
The heat miser.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, really, really turning me off. So there is that.
We're not even 10 minutes in, we've gotten a comparison between Caroline and the heat miser.
Kyle's coming through with the deep cuts today.
We're gonna have to put that together and put it on the socials. I want to see what you have to say about that.
Nice.
Yeah, heat miser. I don't like her. Of course, Kirby wants to now sit Kelly down and give her the lowdown, letting her know what the new tribe dynamics are all about, and of course, painting King Feras as a dangerous player. I'm not saying he's a safe player. I'm not saying she should be trusting this man, because obviously he has it out for you. But Kirby, what about you and the way that you've played this game should lead anyone to believe that you're a safe person to play with?
Right. Like, yeah, he might not be a safe player, but neither are you. What
Right,
makes you any better to have around?
Right, because
you're just as dangerous.
Yeah, at least Feras has been honest to the people that he said he was working with from the very, very beginning, and has extended many an olive branch to the Lady Curbs, all of which were snapped and thrown back, right? Rejected. So how dare she? How dare she? But there she goes. Man, I guess she has to do what she has to do. Back over the Titans camp, we had Eden and Caroline discussing Mark's relationship with the two V's. And this is where some more of the conversation kind of came around, with them thinking that maybe they should be making a move to kind of break them up. Again, good for the game. I don't really like that Eden. I feel like this is also too soon for Eden. Like, this is, everyone's just playing too hard, too fast.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do a Friends reference here.
Before you said it, I knew it was coming.
When Rachel was talking to her sister, Jill, and I said, Jill, do you know what happened to the girl who tried too much, too fast? She died, Jill.
She died, Jill.
Right. And that is what this is giving me. It's like, just everybody just slow it down. Yeah. We haven't even made it to merge yet. Just easy does it.
Yeah.
You work so hard, like, to kind of start having these relationships with people. I feel like I can trust this person. I feel like I can play the game with this person. So then play the game with this person. Stop trying to get them out. Oh my goodness.
I feel like we were literally just talking about how they Mark and Eden had formed this invisible hand, and I was actually looking forward to seeing like what they tried to pull off, and then it just all fell apart. Like,
no,
out of nowhere, like for no reason. Yeah. Instantly.
Absolutely no reason. Oh, you're talking to those two girls over there? You're out of here. And it's like,
had enough.
Easy. It's like, don't you also maybe see that as an opportunity? You can piggyback off the trust that you feel that Mark is building with these other. Those are two more votes that would not be coming your way, right? Just easy does it.
Because I there's a part of me that understands why Eden would get nervous, being like, we had this middle-aged mafia. Me, Caroline, and Kitty have all been, staying true to the middle-aged mafia. And Mark's the only one that's kind of gone off and done his own thing. But what's weird to me about Eden kind of freaking out so much about it so quickly is that it seemed like he was very aware of it. Like, it seems like whatever Mark was doing with the V's, because Eden, he said to Caroline and Kitty, like, he's got the V's. Like, it's not like he was like in the dark, like, had no idea what was going on. So I feel like Mark, while he had this side thing, was still kind of staying true to Eden as well, right? If he's giving him information and stuff, like,
right. If I were Eden, like, that kind of puts me in a pretty good situation.
Right.
Yeah. Mafia that we're for. if I can piggyback off the Mark thing, I might be at the bottom of this 4, but I can at least ride that out to what? 7 or 8, like easy,
Right.
like, just
and especially like seeing like the gamer that like Viola was, like this is a way for Eden to kind of like get more information, continue working with the middle-aged mafia and Mark, and like not have to get his hands dirty when like Viola or Mark want to make a move together or something. It's like I'll still be kept in the loop through Mark, and I can kind of clean my hands of it because I can say that, well, Mark and the 2Vs are working together. This was their move. I didn't do it.
Right.
You know, like, so I'm surprised that he was just so quick to be like, we got to weaken Mark.
Right. And well, certainly more to get into that. We'll try to go in order. We'll try. We'll do our very best. This is where the tribe swap kind of came up. Many apologies to Raymond in this situation, you know, because he drew the non-buff, and he now had to like choose blindly.
So soon, too. Like,
right.
I feel like he shouldn't have been allowed to have chosen that so early on.
Right. Like, that's so unfair. Right. Like, you're literally now picking, and you don't know where anyone is going to go. So I think he made the best decision he could at that point. He knew the Titans had a tarp, so he's like, sorry, y'all.
I love the way he said it too. He was like, I'm gonna go to the place with a tarp.
What else is he supposed to do?
No, just the way he said it was what got me. Like if he was just like, Titans have a tarp, I'm going over there. That's fine. But like the way he was like, well, I'm gonna go to the place that has a tarp.
Right. As if he's already trying to like make people not feel slighted by the decision he's made. It's like nothing's happened yet. No one is offended. Like, it's okay.
Right. No one can get mad. You haven't made a decision.
Exactly. It's okay. It's all right. Go sleep well. Go sleep well.
Night. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Night.
Oh man.
So Audible, everybody swapped. Blah blah blah. They were sent back to camp to be familiarized with each other. Okay. So obviously Valeria pissed at New Titans camp, you know, because everybody that she knew and loved was now sent to rebels. So she decides to be the cook. She said, no one's going to vote out to cook. So who wants rice? Right. Except that she wasn't serving rice. She was just kind of like cutting up coconut and giving that to people, which,
you know, she did her best.
You said you were going to cook, like didn't cook. Because honestly, I could have just done that. Like, all right.
Well, maybe that was just the appetizer, you know, the coconut.
Okay, it's the first round. We're doing 3-course meals.
This is just a preview of what you will get with me.
Right, exactly. First, these cut coconuts.
Like nicely plated on this very large leaf.
Yeah, so maybe she roasted them. Maybe we didn't get to see that. Maybe like hot coconut. Is that a thing? Like fried coconut?
I don't know.
I don't
Probably.
know either, but what?
I don't like coconut.
Probably.
I like coconut as a flavor. I don't think, or like I would do shavings on something, but like to just eat, like I don't know, like a whole mouthful of coconut. I'm not really sure that.
No, it's like if I get like a box of chocolates and I bite in and I get the coconut one, I'm pissed.
Oh,
I don't like coconut.
Oh my gosh, two of my favorite candies is a Mounds or an Almond Joy. Oh no!
I've never been a coconut fan either.
Oh.
Kyle, that just means more for you. You get all the coconut candies.
It does. Not that I need any more candy. But maybe roasted coconut is a thing. I had once a season of Hell's Kitchen where somebody's like made, you know, that the first dish they make is supposed to be like your signature dish. And somebody made like grilled watermelon.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I did. And like, but people liked it. So I was like, is it up? Liz validating the roasted coconut. My goodness gracious. Right. Matt says that's my strategy for Big Brother. I'm a house cleaner. Let me clean the house. That's exactly what I would do. Oh my gosh. Nobody would get rid of me because I'm such a little housekeeper. I want everything to have such order. I didn't even finish watching The Traitors because I decided I wanted to clean up the kitchen real nice. So after this stream, I'm just ready to finish the episode, right? Everything's clean. The coffee maker is already set. Everything's ready. I'm just going to have this one cup. Oh, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. Any Hoosers, way off on a tangent. Valeria is now at this Titans camp, but she is there with Winna and Charles. So she's not ally-less. Okay. Not ally-less. I was happy to see that Curbs was separated from Rihanna. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree. Even though Rihanna was busy over on the other side.
I feel like she doesn't know what she's doing. She is truly like the definition of like a lost puppy.
Oh.
Yeah. Like she's just running around, just leash, just dangling in the wind.
Oh,
like she doesn't know what to do with herself. Yeah,
sorry, Ree.
Chasing cars.
Sorry, girl.
Yeah, chasing cars or anything else. Anything that looks flashy. She don't know. She don't know what the hell is going on. She needs Kirby. Alex felt a little outnumbered over on the Rebels, Alex is hot, y'all.
I thought we didn't like Alex.
I don't like Alex, but I like looking at him. So I don't really want him to go anywhere anytime soon. At that tribal said, "What do you offer to the tribe?" And he pulled out them guns. Oh my gosh. You shoot me dead right here.
He feels like I don't like Alex as much as this person, but Alex feels like this season's Simon to me a little bit, with like sort of the position that he's in. He's like a pretty good competitor, but he's on the bottom.
On the bottom, not making the best decisions.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't know. Like Simon's just more likable for me, at least. But
oh, absolutely.
I
was so endeared towards Simon by the end of last season. But like, if I was looking for like the best comparison of like who Alex reminds me of as a player in this game, it's definitely Simon right now.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. What did you think of the entire middle-aged mafia ending up on the same tribe? I thought that was some freaky coinky dinks.
I like it.
Yeah, that was wild.
Certainly gave us a lot of entertainment this week.
Oh, yes.
And I guess all of that really brought us to the immunity challenge. They had the ball in the gutters, and they had to like transfer the ball to each gutter back. This was a fun one.
I liked it.
I enjoyed watching this, and I was really glad that the ball didn't have to go all the way back to start when they failed.
Oh, that would have taken forever.
Right, at least they got to just restart from wherever the ball fell.
Right.
Thank goodness. Right. All right, that was that. Titans won, but this was like new Titans. So this is like the Titans that now I'm rooting for because Feras is over there.
Yeah, it's the Titans, which is made up of like 2/3 rebels.
Right. Which is, I found this whole thing to be very, very tricky because like you're watching these and like I'm associating certain people with certain colors. And I'm like, no. It's like, oh, wait a minute. No, that's fine. That is fine.
I changed your mind. I like this. This is good.
Never mind. It's good. I'm on board.
Yeah.
So silly. But they won. So this is now the beginning of Rihanna worrying. You know, she could be the easy vote tonight. And she's starting to tell people like little secrets, right? She's spilling the beans. And Mark starts to begin to suggest a split vote between Rihanna and Sarah. With Rihanna going home. That's really what he was leaning towards. Which honestly, totally fine with me because Rihanna was aligned so closely with Kirby, so I truly like that idea.
I had the same thought. I would that when they started kind of going in that direction, I was feeling really good. Like,
okay, but then I was immediately reminded, like, you know, whatever plan you hear first is never the one that is
that's
real.
Very rarely where we end up.
Right. In America, you can almost believe it, you know, because we have shorter episodes and poorer editing. But this certainly keeps things like super exciting.
Matt Blevins in the chat trying to marry me off.
So we had Viola and Caroline. This is where like some of this stuff really, really came to a head. Because obviously Caroline really not trusting Viola and the relationship that she had with Mark. Viola not really trusting Caroline either because she had really been saying all episodes she definitely saw there being some possibility that she would move against her. Wikipedia says that Eden is concerned about blowing up the alliance too soon, but I don't think he really stood on that too long. I don't remember that being a major conversation
I do
point.
not remember that at all.
I remember that. I feel like whoever wrote this made that up.
Yeah, I feel like he was on board with it, but he was like, because I remember earlier in the season, it might have been Mark was talking about how like he was hesitant to give certain information to Eden because Eden seemed to be a little bit like skittish. He would get nervous like if there was a certain plan that he wasn't sure if it was going to work 100% right, and I feel like so that was the thing with Eden is I feel like he wanted to make the move once Caroline and Kitty started talking to him about it, but he was very much like, well, what is this going to do to me and Mark's relationship? So like I think he always wanted to do it, but just needed to get like more assurances before he felt comfortable with it. So maybe that's what that line is like referring to.
Okay. All right.
You remember him going like having conversations with Kitty where he was very much, he wasn't like saying anything. He would come in and be like, oh, well, I just want to make sure, and then he would stop talking. Like it was very awkward, like exchange that he was having with people, like regarding this plan to try to get, Viola out.
That does sound familiar. That sounds familiar. That sounds pretty serviceable. Hi, Jono. Welcome to the chat.
Hi,
Jono.
Restream does not allow us to respond to people on Twitter/X, so you get a very public shout out. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for hanging. Yeah, Caroline haunts us too. Yeah, we don't like her.
We were just talking about that, Jono.
Eyes. Yeah, we don't like her either. I think the word that we used was dastardly.
You did. You did indeed use dastardly. Yes.
Yeah, yuckos.
Right before comparing her to Heat Miser.
Because I'm not sure it's like really a very well-known reference, especially to any of our friends down under.
But I like it.
Right.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But I guess all these things really led to us seeing Viola go.
So disappointing.
Bummer.
Yeah, didn't love this.
I was way more excited about the idea that that Caroline might go, or somebody like that.
Or even Rihanna.
Or Rihanna,
yeah, I would have liked that too. What's tricky about this is that I don't understand. To the same point, like Caroline, her whole big thing was, oh, this is going to force him to want to come back to us, and it's like, is it though? Because obviously, like Mark in this next episode tried to make a move against her, and we'll certainly get to that whole moment. But like, why do you think this would make anybody trust you more if they are already on the fence about you, and you say, "Oh, I see that you have this relationship with this person, so I'm going to take them out and not even tell you." Like, why would this person want to work with you now?
Right. Like this would be the type of move to make when we're really getting down to the pointy end, and like Mark has maybe one or two allies and you're forcing him into a corner, but like they made this move to try to make Mark come crawling back to them, and then Mark still had options to try to go and work with other people. Like you just took out one of his closest people in the game, like without telling him, without filling him in on the vote, without saying anything to him about it. Right. But he still has other numbers that he could try to rally.
Right,
like
this so many people left in the game. He could pivot anywhere.
Right. If we were down to like the final 10, and six of those people were the middle-aged mafia and the V's. Now you're talking about 6 out of 10. All right. Now you take out one of the V's. Mark doesn't really have many other options. But like, there's still almost 20 people in the game.
Right. I don't know. Again, everyone just playing too hard, too fast. Just chill out. Like there were definitely larger fish to fry. But I guess to play devil's advocate, you always do say though when you're watching these games, like, oh, if you would have just done this weeks ago, like you'd be in such a different situation. So like, I don't know. I guess we can see how this
I feel like we had this same conversation last season of Australian Survivor. I feel like it's just a difference in the way that these games are played. Because I feel like even last year we were like, they are doing so much right out of the gate. Oh my God, we had no time to breathe. I feel like that's just the way they do it there, Like I feel like we're just taking too long to get.
That's true.
They hit the ground running.
That is true. And as I'm like sitting here thinking, because as we've said, there's 3 episodes a week that we, watch and talk about. So it's a lot. They blend together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because while, Eden, Caroline, and Kitty were, carrying out this plan to take out Viola, it's like Viola was trying to get Mark to take out Caroline, so like at the same time, that I'm saying that this was too soon for Caroline to go against Mark, it really wasn't, I guess, because Mark,
she was the alternative.
I think it might have been. I think Viola was like very gung ho about trying to get Caroline out, and it was Mark that actually was trying to say like, let's wait one more try.
Yeah, because I think Mark understands that you're doing too much. I understand though why Viola was in a different position there though, because she knew that Caroline was already looking at her just by the way that she was always following around like her and Valeria. Like, so she kind of knew. Mm-hmm. If Caroline didn't behave that way, I'm not so sure that Viola would have had that opinion. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
She might have slowed it down. It's like, well, you are actively like you're getting aggressive with me, lady. Like,
yeah, like stop following me around. Like,
right? What's your problem? What's your problem?
Like, unless you're working with me, we shouldn't be spending this much time together.
Right. Like, especially because I didn't choose for you to be here. Like, you're only spending this time with me because you're literally following me. I didn't invite you to the seashore. I did not invite you to Rice. Like, you were not invited. Like, it's just ridiculous. But okay, so that's kind of how that one really kicked off, right? It was now like Mark trying to now make amends with, his middle-aged mafia here. Obviously, him not trusting them, saying flat out, I was not a part of this vote. How do I move forward with you? To which I don't even remember what the response was. He definitely called him out because there was that nighttime. He had the night vision. I don't even remember how they defended themselves. Maybe just because they deflected. I don't remember how that went.
Yeah, I think they just kind of said like, we wanted to be strong with our alliance, and it felt like you were drifting away. Like, not in those words necessarily, but like I think that was the overall message. And he just kind of was like, I want to sleep on it, and
yeah,
mm-hmm.
Bullsh. Back at Titans, apparently Feras and Scott were discussing picking off the old Titan members first. But Feras is obviously very nervous about Kirby. I wanted to like Scott, and like I don't dislike Scott. I just don't like Scott because you're working with Kirby.
I have the same feeling, and it's like it's funny because Scott's on the one of the people that I drafted on my team. Mm-hmm. And I feel the same way. Like Scott feels like someone that like I could really like if he was just working with Feras instead of Kirby.
or even just anyone but Kirby.
right.
Like I would take anything other than that, right? Because like there are other people that I enjoy that are not working with Feras, or well, they're also not working with him. They're just
they're not working against him.
Exactly. Just cut it out. Just cut it out. Like, I just fucking hate it. But I guess that was really it for Before the Challenge. It's interesting that we had 2 episodes this week that did not have a reward in it.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Approaching. Oh, okay. I want to say who I didn't want to say who I didn't remember. That's not a good thing. So the immunity challenge, they had to maneuver a heavy cart of puzzle pieces through an obstacle course. This looked horrible.
Yeah, this was rough. This was really over those logs, right? Like,
yes.
Oh man,
stuck and everything like that. This looked absolutely terrible. Just super, super terrible. But Titans won this one again, so I was fine. So now Caroline started to craft a plan to split the vote between. This whole scramble is really wild. Craft a plan to split the vote between Sarah and Rihanna. Or Rihanna, however you want to say her name. But Mark wanted to kind of plan to join the old rebels in voting out Kitty, which, as dastardly as Caroline might be, I do think that Kitty is actually a little scarier. I find Kitty very, very intimidating. I think, she can put up in a physical way that I don't think that Caroline can. And Kitty is no dummy. especially the way that she asserted herself a few tribals back with Jaden. She was like, "Stop it! You know what it is. Just vote correct. Vote correct."
I forgot that was her.
Yeah, Kitty's scary. Kitty's scary.
Kitty's impressive. Like she's very strong. I think she's very smart. Yeah. I don't think she says a lot, but I think that's because she's just very observant and doesn't feel the need to say anything unnecessary that might get her in trouble. Like she's done a very good she's done a very good job of saying very little but being part of an alliance, like making some moves. Like she's definitely an interesting player to watch for me.
And she doesn't give me the ick like Caroline does.
Right. Not at all.
Right. Not at all. Yeah, Kitty is fun. Kitty brought the claws out. She sure did. Her claws have been out for some time, though. I still go back to that whole Jaden vote. You know what it is? Cut the crap! And it's like, whoa.
That's right.
Not exactly what she said, but her face said it.
Close enough.
Yeah. So Rihanna and Sarah, they don't know what to do.
Oh, this was such a wild episode for the two of them. I was sitting there like, what on earth is happening? What's happening?
So Mark really wanted to bring in Sarah and Rihanna to vote out Kitty. But they don't know if they can trust Mark. So they go and they tell Kitty about the plan. And Kitty's face, oh my goodness, you just knew that the fireworks are about to go off. Like the way she was like, oh, really? And I was like, oh, this is really not good.
Like what was so crazy is I thought that she was about to blow up on Mark. And then immediately in the confessional, she was like, I know they're feeding me bullshit. And I was like, what?
Right.
No.
I was like, oh.
What do you mean?
Oh, I was like, okay, so she's not buying it. And it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. Are you really so cocky that like you just automatically think that you just can burn this man and he's not gonna make a move back?
Yeah, like she didn't even consider. It wasn't even like a hold on, let me think about this for a second. Ultimately, I don't think that's the case. Like right from the get, she was like, nah.
No,
like, what are you? How are you not even considering that he might be coming after you?
And went right back to Mark. And this is where I give Mark so much credit because Mark was not jarred by this at all.
Not at all.
And I couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
I would fold like a piece of paper.
I would march right over to them, grab them by the back of their head, and drag them to the seashore and drown them both. like absolutely.
I feel like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like the fact that Mark came to you, gave you a plan that
benefited you.
That benefited you, yeah, and like, and it obviously benefited. Like, how did they not realize that? Like, one of Mark's biggest allies just got voted out by like his own group, his own tribe, and now he's coming to you with a plan because he's pissed off and wants revenge. And like, you think, like, how would it benefit him to get you out when the people that he was working with just voted out his ally? Like it doesn't make any sense. And then the fact that you told Kitty this, and then Mark immediately came over to you after and was like, I know you told Kitty this. How does that?
I don't even care.
That clearly shows that you can't trust Kitty and by extension Caroline or Eden because the information that you just said to Kitty about how Mark was trying to make this plan was outed, and Mark came right over and was like, listen, I'm not pissed. Kitty told me that you told her. Like, but I still want to go forward with this. Like again, how does this benefit Mark to lie to you?
To Mark's credit, he recovered so because he did walk over. He was like, I know you told Kitty. It's fine. I'm not mad. We're just going to pivot to Caroline. Or pivot to Caroline. And, and they were like, oh, yeah, sure. Like, he did it so quickly that they didn't even notice, like, oh, she told him that we said that. Like, it didn't even dawn on them because then all of a sudden now we're presented with a new plan. And now we have to think about the plan.
Seriously.
And like,
Hilarious coconuts are still roasting on the open fire. Before this information circled all the way back.
Yeah. And like, I was annoyed that Sarah and Rihanna went to Kitty in the first place. But like then when Sarah went back over the second time, that's when I was really like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what the hell are you doing? Like what more do you need here? Like because like the first time, if you're on that, like, you know, you're in the minority on this new tribe, right? That has all the numbers on the other side, and you feel like you could go home at any minute. Um, like I just don't understand it. I don't even know what else to say. I just wouldn't you look for any opportunity to like get some kind of benefit, like somebody to work with you?
Yeah, I do have a slightly different view on that though, because there was a brief moment where I was like, Sarah is being such a straight shooter here that it's almost interesting because like there was, and I don't remember exactly like word for word what the conversation was. As she was staying in that conversation, like, well, I know I'm not lying. I know I'm not lying. And like she was definitely forcing people into like having to speak and having to say things where Kitty was like quiet. Other people were just like not saying a word. She's like, well, this is what they said. This is what they said. So what's up? What's up? And like the way that she just wasn't aggressive enough with it for me. Like if she would have just actually was the way that I just portrayed her, even though that's not really what she did, but if she would have pushed that hard, I think we could have gotten some interesting conversations there, and maybe some people would have, I don't know, come clean. But it was almost like her move was half-stepped. So you didn't quite get the truth out of things that you could have. But I do want to give her a couple of points for at least presenting it somewhat, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel like it's another strike against her though, that it's like Mark is coming up to you with this plan, trying to work with you, and then you'd go try to find out from Kitty and Caroline what's really going on, and they're not saying anything to you. And it's like, how do you trust them more than Mark?
Right. How did she end up voting though? Did she actually trust him more than Mark?
No, I think in the end,
I think she voted the way Mark wanted.
I think in the end she did. She did.
Yeah.
But I feel like she was the most active in like sabotaging the plan before Tribal actually came, even though she stuck to it in the end. It's very weird.
If anything, this is really Rihanna's fault. This is Rihanna's fault.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because Rihanna voted Mark, and it's like literally no one was doing that. Like, so who are you talking to? Again, this goes all the way back to the whole puppy thing. Like, if she doesn't have a leader to tell her just what she's supposed to do and when, like, she don't have any idea.
Well, that was because at the very beginning, when Mark was first laying out the plan, he was like, "Tell the girls to vote for me." And that, like, as a way to, like, he was like, just, like, tell them to put the vote on me. Like, when he was like, oh, yeah, we have to, like, split the vote somehow. And she just never followed any of the steps after
Which is, like, crazy to me.
I was told was a part of every one
of
voting for Mark.
Unacceptable. Yeah. Unacceptable. You are part of every single conversation that happened.
No, I agree with it. She literally,
that whole Mark thing, that was long gone.
Yeah.
like,
well, that's the plan I was given, so that's what I'm going to do.
It's like, what are you doing? Like, very stupid.
She was literally in every subsequent conversation and was like, well, they told me to vote for Mark.
Right.
So, this is the last actual direction I was given. Everything else was just smoke and mirrors. The last thing I heard was vote Mark, and that's what I'm doing because I'm just a lemming.
A lemming.
Do you remember that game? Lemmings.
Rihanna.
Sounded like a Nintendo game years ago.
I cannot say I do. I'm so sorry.
Oof, it's like Lemmings. Oh my gosh, that's how you know I'm almost 40. Look it up. Lemmings. Any Hoosers. Yeah. So that is how we lost Sarah. Because
poor Sarah.
Had Rihanna just voted Caroline, we would have had a revote, which also could have been interesting.
I have no idea how that would have gone.
Right. I don't know how that would have went either, because it would have been Sarah and Caroline, and both Sarah and Caroline would not be able to vote in the revote, which doesn't really change the number structure.
Right.
Like someone would have to buckle. Like someone would have to in order to change it. And I don't know
who would have folded though.
Yeah, I don't know who would be that person. Do you think Eden could have been like, you know what?
I think that's your best shot. Maybe Eden. To say like, you know what? Let Caroline go. It's not like you're letting go of Kitty. I don't see Caroline physically being able to put up like Kitty could. So why? So you wouldn't switch there, and maybe you'd want to keep Mark because you already know that you have a trust with him that you could probably go back to a little bit easier than
Right.
relying on this. It's like maybe he could have switched.
I almost think that would have been the best move if we had gotten the tie. That probably would have been the best move for Eden. It probably strengthens your relationship with Mark at that point, even though that Viola got sent out. Like now you're like, okay, you know what? I messed up. I'm working with you, Mark. And then I feel like once Caroline is gone,
Kitty has to come to you now.
Exactly. Kitty has to come to you. And then Rihanna and Sarah are going to feel better because they were worried about getting voted out this whole time. You know what I mean? By the Titans or whatever. And it's like, now you've got like a pretty strong, large group here. You know what I mean? Like,
who else is there? So that would have been Kitty,
Alex,
Eden, and Mark, and then it would have been Alex, Rihanna, and Sarah. Is there a seventh person? Is there someone we're forgetting? Because that would have also been a very interesting situation, and maybe a reason then for Eden not to? Question mark?
I don't remember who's where anymore.
I know.
John's going to play the what's the math thing, isn't he?
No, I was actually just trying to look
now.
I don't even know if it's loaded into this folder, to be honest. But
no, it's not.
All right. Well, I mean, you know what? It's all conjecture. It doesn't really matter. It's certainly also worth noting that Mark incorrectly played his idol. You only blocked the Rihanna vote, which means there is another idol floating about. All right, so there's that. Now Blevins had mentioned this before, so here we are. The Mark apology tour.
Apology tour.
This was cringy. Okay, like all you could do is like watch it just like that. Like,
it's again like it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not supposed to see this. Please take it away from me, please. I don't want to know.
This is supposed to be just between them. This is not my business. Yeah, and Mark really trying to kind of make amends for the fact that he tried to make this move against Caroline, and I don't really believe that she's cool with it, but I do think she did a good job in this moment acting like she was. She's like, well, this happened. We're moving on. And it's like, that couldn't be me ever.
Right.
I already know what you did. Like, get out of my face. Like, you can't fix this. You moved against me once. You might move against me again. Unless you want to make room for the argument that, like, that, like, hi, Ferris.
Hi, Ferris.
God, we love you, Ferris. We love you so much.
Maybe there's some room for Caroline here to be like, you know what? Okay. I tried to make a move against you. I succeeded. You tried. You did not. Bygones be bygones. Couldn't be me, but just saying. There's some room for that.
I also feel like there should be like, okay, listen, I get that Caroline is going to feel some type of way because the move that, Mark was trying to pull off would have ended up with her out of the game. I get it. But there's also a part of me that feels like the middle-aged mafia should kind of like be like, okay, we took a shot at you. You tried to take a shot at us. You know what I mean? Like, you took out one of my biggest allies without telling me. I had no idea that this was happening. You totally blindsided me. Now I took a shot at you. Like, okay, can we call it even? You know what I mean? Like,
do you think that Mark should have really doubled down and not been a bitch?
Kinda. Because I feel like it. But am I honestly though? Am I wrong? Like Mark thought he was coming up with a plan with his alliance, the middle-aged mafia, that they were going to split votes on Sarah and Rihanna and get one of them out. The middle-aged mafia totally went behind his back, didn't say anything, and voted out somebody else that he was working with. Of course he's going to feel some type of way. Of course he's going to try to take a shot at you if he thinks he has the numbers to do it. Okay, we both took a shot at each other. Your shot worked. Mine didn't. I'm weakened. I'm coming back into the alliance. Let's be the middle-aged
I'm
mafia
here
again.
for the double down. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, you tried it, you won. I tried, I failed. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. We don't know enough about Miss Caroline, right? Because maybe that actually would be more effective, because it's just a very, very honest way of approaching the whole thing, you know? We're just being very, very black and white, right? We're playing a game. We're not supposed to be playing with emotions. You made a move against me. You know what I'm about to do. You made me draw 2. So I tried to make you draw 2. Everything comes back to Uno, because it's such a friendship ruiner, you know, but like it's immediately rectified if you do the right thing on the next hand, you know, and which is kind of what Caroline really tried to do here, basically saying like, listen, vote with me in the next time. Let's build up some trust and we'll see what's going on. I just feel so icky about anybody doing anything that Caroline wants. She is just, she just doesn't do it for me. She concerns me. She concerns me. But over back at Titans, you know, King Feras is convinced that Chaotic Kelly has an idol. Which her erratic behavior would make you think she could be doing anything. I mean, I fucking love Kelly. I'm not gonna lie. She is totally off her rocker. You can't trust anything she does. Even when like you're trying to give her a plan, she has this like blank stare that it's like, not only did you, I could ask you, did you comprehend what I said? But I'm not even really 100% sure that you even heard it. Like, where are you?
Stay with me. Stay with
exactly.
me.
Hello.
Hi.
Come back. What's happening? What's happening? But I'm telling you, as a viewer, I love it so much. I love it so much. Our King says that the edit misses a lot. I would really love to know what's missing. We've always said we need live feeds on Survivor Australia, because like there is just
if you think I wouldn't watch a 24/7 feed of what's going on this island,
I'd be absolutely tuned in. It'd be a mess. But we did finally get a reward challenge. And this is that spelling bee with the coconuts in the water. This is one of those that I would get expelled from the game for this one. I would get expelled. I don't like, you guys know how I like to play games. I can be a gracious loser, but I do not like when people do things that can negate my progress. This is why I don't like games like Sorry. You know, it's just because it has a built-in taunt, right? You sent me back to sorry. It's like, you're not sorry. Don't do that. don't do that. Wait, what did Ferris say here? Kelly had a huge lump in her pants after coming back from the forest, and she went straight to her bag. And then the lump was gone. And that's why I was so convinced. The edit did at least tell us that like somebody made mention of it, and it could have been you. Somebody did say like, "Oh, it looked like Kelly had something in her pocket." I do remember hearing something about that, but they certainly didn't show us this.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I also remember seeing her go to her bag, and it looked like she like put something in there. But
okay, and who knows? Like maybe she still does have an idol. They just didn't tell us. Is that possible?
I mean, in the confessional, she said like, "Oh, everyone's freaking out over Kelly has an idol. I don't got shit." Like, so
that is right. She did say that.
I will say, and it could have been editing, but it did seem like there was a bit of a shift in like Kelly's behavior. It seemed like she's always very like energetic and talkative, and loud, and like there were people commenting on how like it seemed like she wasn't acting the same anymore, and like even in the footage that we saw in the edit, it seemed like she was being a lot more quiet than we're used to. So like,
like all of a sudden now, why all of a sudden are you trying to lay low?
Yeah,
maybe because you have something that other people, right? Certainly possible. And maybe that, listen, her background as a psychologist, maybe that was even part of it. Maybe she just wanted to kind of cast some of that suspicion
could be
and doubt around things, right? Maybe we're selling Chaotic Kelly a little short.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the spelling bee was a mess. If somebody's holding me back when I'm trying to move my coconuts up this seashore, I would absolutely deck somebody.
He's
I'm
like,
like,
"Pop,
fuck off me. Yeah, get off me. Like, don't touch me. If you lose, you lose. You just didn't get your coconuts up there fast enough. But I'll be damned if you're gonna be holding me back like wrestling. I've been here. We ain't playing football. Do they call it football there? They don't have football like we have football. There's nothing comparable. Y'all play rugby? I hear that's rough. Red Ross. So, like, I don't know.
Red Ross.
But whatever tribe won the coconut spelling bee first, got the Mexican feast. I was certainly happy to see that my king got to have his meal. All right. I hope you dined sufficiently. we like to see our royalty well fed. So that's
yeah.
good. And of course, the entire time, Kirby's eating her feast. She's like, just the daggers. I'm so tired of her. I don't even know what to do. Just enjoy your fucking meal and just go. Just cut it out. This is a reward. All right. Just like you don't make plans against family at Thanksgiving. Like cut it out. It's supposed to be a good time. Happy times.
I just have to say, this reward would have been like my heaven in a game like this Mexican feast. I do have to do a quick favor for Matt Blevins here. I have a very short clip, because so we all remember from last season, Liz doing the lasagna. You remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite moments. And Matt Blevins felt like this moment from Valeria actually was this season's version of the lasagna moment from Liz last season.
Let's give it a gander.
And so here it is.
Tortillas.
I forgot about that.
So that was for Matt Blevins in the chat.
I totally forgot about that.
That was really, really fun. And I also thought that was also just a play on the whole spelling bee thing. I just thought all of that was really, really fun. Because didn't she also spell tortilla? Wait a minute. Hold on. The people in Australia, y'all spelled chili with 2 L's. I have always spelled chili with 1. Like the restaurant chain, like Chili's.
I noticed that too. I was like, wait, chili with 2 L's?
Yeah, I even Googled it. I was like, wait, chili. And then I saw it both ways. I said, well, I'll be damned.
I don't know how I spell it. Now we're talking about it too much and I don't remember what I do.
I've always spelled it with 1. And I was like, shit, am I almost 40? Been spelling chili wrong?
I've always
40 years.
thought of I've always thought of chili with 1 L. So
thank goodness.
Hey.
Yeah, I think I do 1 L.
Right. I mean, there's a restaurant chain with only 1 L. Millions of dollars have been invested to this brand. Y'all not gonna have me think it was definitely 2 L's. But if our king in the comments tells me it's 2, I'll never spell it with 1 again. So there's that.
Your influence, Feras. You see what you did?
We're waiting to see how chili is supposed to be spelled. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Bated breath.
I have to tell you one other thing.
Tell us.
Just the whole football soccer talk we were having before.
Right.
So I thought I had seen this online at one point, and unless the map I'm looking at is inaccurate, it looks like the United States and Canada and Australia are 3 of the only countries in the world that refer to the game as soccer. Everyone else refers to it as football. So I just know that had come up earlier.
That's interesting. So do they have a league?
I don't know.
It's just the NFL. Does Canada have a team? I don't think they do. Like the Toronto. Nope.
Yep, Toronto, famously the only place in Canada.
Well, I feel like if there's any city, it's either Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver that I would expect to have a team. And I just know the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because the Montreal Canadiens don't exist anymore, do they?
They do.
Oh, they do. I thought they were defunct. But the Vancouver, what is it? The Canucks?
The Canucks,
around, right?
They are still around.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
The Montreal Expos are no longer around. That was a baseball team.
I never heard of them, but she doesn't do baseball. I don't know anything
How
about
did
that.
we get here?
Well, we're talking about sports and who plays what, because you have the Toronto Raptors, right, for the NBA. Are they defunct?
No, they're still around.
Okay, all right.
They won a championship recently, actually.
Oh, well, excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Maybe their favorite movie is Jurassic Park. Off the rails. All right. So, anywho,
do you want to hear an even more random story? I'm sorry. I'm totally derailing everything. Because we were talking about the Toronto Raptors. You know that I used to be a mascot for the Islanders and the Mets. And I used to do some traveling.
Sparking.
And one time I went to Toronto and we were at a Toronto Raptors game and we were playing a mascot basketball game at halftime of this NBA game. And the Toronto Raptors mascot gave the Pittsburgh Penguins mascot a concussion.
It's actually not funny.
I laugh because
I'm picturing like everybody in their costume. It's actually
it's literally what you're describing. It was me standing on the court dressed as a giant blue and orange dragon, and I watched a red dinosaur hit a penguin in the head and knock him out. So,
like, it probably looked funny, but like, and it probably also looked really funny to watch all the other mascot people hovering around the penguin. Like, look at you, picture that, like just dinosaurs and dragons, like whatever. Is he good? Is he good? This is getting very silly. Thank you for that image. I will also off stream need to know what other mascots were involved in this game so I can get a proper visual. But that's for later. Maybe that's for like a Strat Chat after dark, a crack chat.
Oh my God, a crack
chat. All right, so there's that. There is that. In between the reward and immunity challenge, it is important to note that, Winna, Charles, and Valeria, the original Titans, we're starting to now discuss where they think they should go with the Feras and Kirby feud, the FERBY feud.
Yeah.
FERBY
feud. Yeah.
It was really annoying me that they were saying that they thought they could trust Kirby more. It was really, really annoying me.
Based on what?
Right.
Seriously. For why? Because they don't know her. I think that's why. They don't know her. They don't know what she's done already. They don't fully understand that she'll burn anybody because they weren't there. Yeah, so they don't know. But this immunity challenge was interesting. These were look like equal weights in these barrels. People had to hold them. Yeah, you could drop out if you wanted to, but if that was the case, you had to pass your barrel along, or else the entire team lost. I will say, like, I'm usually a fan of most of these Australian Survivor challenges, but some of these this season, because Jaden is there and this is what he does, it makes it feel slanted. Like if you just had I'm gonna say like regular people, like that's a bad thing, but you know what I mean? Like he literally is a strong man. Like this is how he competes.
Yeah.
Like
he even like once it got to the end of the competition, he like continued just to like pumping it, being like, "Yeah, I could go all day."
Like,
and
it's like absolutely nothing to him, and it's like it's frustrating when you got somebody like him up against somebody like a Charles, like that like. Whereas I like the challenges a little bit better when yes, you can have something heavily physical, but when it ends with a puzzle. I like that at least because you can put maybe the people who aren't as physically strong at the puzzle. That's always such a great equalizer, and that makes it very fun to me. But it
feels very Hulk smash, yeah.
Yeah, this is a reward challenge. It wouldn't bother me as much, but because your entire safety is really banking on this, like I didn't watch this with the idea that the Rebels were going to lose this one,
though. All it takes is one person. So, like, even if Jaden could hold it up forever, one of the others still could have dropped,
True. It just... so I kind of hated it.
I know what you mean. I thought about the same thing with Jaden myself, honestly. So, like, some of these... But I also agree with Gina. The whole thing about how Jaden could probably have stood there forever. He probably could have taken 2, 3, 4 of those buckets and held on to them for a while. But if just one person dropped one bucket on his side, it could have been over. So I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm taking the negative end of it. I guess the positive side to it is that how long the Titans stayed into it. And
Even especially and Charles too. There was a long time it seemed like where Charles was holding 2 of those buckets, and I didn't think that he'd be able to hold on to it for as long as he did.
Right.
So
right. That's fair. That's fair. All right. But the Rebels did win. They did. So back at Titans, this is where Eileen was making her big pitch, saying, "Hey, can you guys put down your swords, right? Put down your guns, cut the crap. Let's just stick together for this one. Let's make sure we can get one of the OG Titans out." And I thought this whole thing was really, really funny because so much of the Australian Survivor socials is Feras versus Kirby, and it's the real person that's actually the most passionate against Kirby is Garrick. Garrick was having none of this. There was still a version of this that I thought that maybe Feras would be like, okay, all right, yes, I could do this, but Garrick is like, absolutely not. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Everybody wants all this kumbaya. Absolutely not. And I
he had no time.
So Liz said that poor Eileen, not a soul was listening to her. I think people were a little bit.
I think Feras was totally on board with her, being like, listen, I want Kirby out, but if everybody listens to Eileen right now, I can kind of think about this more, how I want to go about getting her out. If I know I'm safe, you know what I mean? It seemed like it seemed like Garrick really needed to push Feras to be like, no, we do have the numbers.
Well, it looked like Feras was a little hesitant though, because he kept saying, Kirby, as long as you can agree to be good, and Kirby was very quiet, because Kirby was just like, the Feras does confirm, I was totally on board, but Garrick was too set on her. Yeah, Garrick was having none of it,
none at all,
none of it. He's like, what are you talking about? This is it. Let's get her out. Yeah, Garrick is really, really fun. Really fun. So Wikipedia is telling us that Raymond accidentally leaked the plan to Kelly. I'm not sure that was an accident, though. That wasn't my take.
Yeah. It wasn't my take. No, it wasn't my take either. I didn't think it was an accident.
No, because I think that on some level, because Raymond and Kelly kind of had some kind of a connection.
Yeah, if I had to choose one person on this cast that was the closest to Kelly, I would absolutely pick Raymond. So,
right, who has also really, really grown, in my book,
Raymond.
Yeah, I didn't really think much of Raymond in the very beginning, but as things have been going on, I'm very, very endeared towards him.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I just want really good things for him. I would like to fly to Smo and give him a nice plate of food, just myself.
I want to tuck him up in a nice little blankie and
just very, very sweet. Just give him a nice ice cream sundae. Just make sure he has a nice day. Yeah, he just seems really sweet. So that's that on Raymond. But yeah, I feel like that wasn't really an accident. But Kelly, she immediately told Kirby. And I guess this is really a little bit of a testament to Kirby's game, because the second that Kelly came back, Kirby kind of took her in and was like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. This is how this is kind of all shaking up now that you're back from the Titans side. So maybe she's kind of seeing some benefits being reaped from this. Now, Scott is the one who actually started to suggest that maybe they should be going after Garrick instead of Feras, because they're scared of the idol that they think that Feras has. Which, again, happy you're not going after my king anymore, but really, really not happy that you're taking out his strongest soldier. I didn't like this either. And never mind any of that. I actually really like Garrick for Garrick. Never mind just a number for, person I like the most side. So like I just didn't like this, at all. And this is when I was like, I think I'm really done with Scott now.
Yeah, no, Garrick and Ferris, by the way, were becoming like one of my favorite duos on the whole season. Like
this
I'm
happened
so
way too soon.
disappointed. I'm so disappointed with what happened here.
Yeah, really, really gross. So of course now you had the OG Titans kind of deciding like where they wanted to go. But Eileen again still thinking they can stay strong on this whole thing, but is there really anything else there? I mean, Tribal, the conversation kind of carried on the way that it did. There were some things that were said, and again, I don't remember what it was verbatim. There's so much information here, but it did start to become very clear to Garrick that he was in trouble, and he kept saying, "I think I'm in trouble. I think I'm in trouble." And I was really. I'm happy that Ferris still has the idol, but like I just didn't. I really did want him. How impressive if he would have played it for Garrick and blocked this entire thing.
And Eileen tried to tell him to.
Yes, she did. She said, "Hey, listen. I think he's in trouble. I think you should play the idol." And gosh, that smug look on Kirby's face when he didn't play it. Oh my God, it just turned my stomach. I was so annoyed.
I think it really bothered me in particular too, because it felt like the way the tribal was going, or the way the conversation was going, right? Like Ferris and Garrick were very vocal about how Kirby had backstabbed them, in the past. Kirby admitted that she had cooked up this whole plan to get one person out in the tribe and then didn't even vote for that plan so that it would benefit her rather than the people that she was telling, how to vote. I don't remember who that vote was for though, that Kirby had led. Do you remember? Oh, it was the Cuddle Alliance. I think she voted out
Tobias.
Was that the vote that it was? It might have been. It was one of those four anyway, in the Cuddle Alliance. And Kirby had led the charge to get that person out, and then didn't even vote that way, the way she was trying to get everybody else to vote. And and she admitted it in the tribal. But
whose plan was it? Whose plan was it? Ugh.
Right. And it's like, well, if you're going to keep coming to me with plans saying this is how you should vote, and then you don't do it, it doesn't matter if we still have the numbers or not. You're lying to me. And the fact that Kirby
and then you're trying to take credit for it as if you did something, and it's like
right. And Kirby admitted it in the tribal, and all the other people on the opposite tribe heard her admit that she wasn't truthful, that she, and I felt like, I wonder if that played into Ferris not playing the idol at all, because he felt like Kirby is outing herself as a liar that can't be trusted right now. So how in their right minds would they vote with Kirby?
Right.
Instead of me? You know what I mean? Me and Garrick.
That did get a little heated in tribal too, between the three of them. Like I was honestly surprised more people didn't turn.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that was my hope. I was thinking maybe Ferris here is making the right move. He is not going to use it. So who was it? It was Winna, right? Val and Charles. Yeah. Maybe he was thinking with Kirby outing herself as being not a trustworthy player and going against a plan that she formulated herself. Like maybe they won't want to side with her, so I'll take the risk of not using the idol here. Maybe that was the thought process. But I really wish he had used it for Garrick. I really do.
I wish he had used it for Garrick too. It's so hard because there's so much left now to go. It's still technically so early in this game, because I am also very, very happy that he still has the idol.
Right.
I'm thrilled he still has the idol.
Yeah, I'm scared the numbers aren't necessarily on his side now, because they already were not, because that's how this happened. So now they're even less so. I feel like you have an uphill climb here now to try and get them to come to your side when you don't have the numbers. Like, what are you selling them? So if anything, by using the idol, it gives you one more tribal.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't go to tribal.
Right.
for a couple of cycles, and then he can use it to keep himself safe. And maybe by then we'll get to merge, and then we're having a completely different conversation.
Or even at the very least, by the time they go back to tribal, like pivot it to somebody else. You know.
Yeah.
Like try to pivot the target onto
who.
I wonder. I do wonder,
unless you push it on Scott.
I wonder if
Titans to make that happen. I'm sorry.
Right. No, it's okay. I was gonna say I actually wonder if Ferris could almost use this to his advantage. Like, obviously, it would be better if Garrick was still there working with Ferris. But like now that I almost wonder if Ferris could play this the way that like Mark tried to play it, where it was like they took out my biggest ally. I have an idol. It's the same thing that Mark said. Let's work together, because at the end of the day, whether Kirby trusts you or not because you voted with her, you're still at the bottom.
Yeah.
You weren't with us from day one. You know, like we were in different tribes. So like maybe Ferris can try to use this to kind of build a new alliance up. You know what I mean? And say like, listen, vote with me. If I hear your name or anything like that, or you hear my name or anybody's name in our group, I'll use the idol on you. Like maybe he can kind of use this to his benefit almost in a way. Like, I don't know. Okay.
And let's not forget, you still have Chaotic Kelly in the mix. You never know where she's going to go. So that's interesting. Liz has some interesting questions here too. Because I did forget this. You know, Eileen on the way out, you know, said to Kirby, we need to talk. You know, I didn't vote for you. You know, so do you think that Eileen will change alliances?
I mean, if she thinks that she's on a sinking ship because the numbers are clearly not in her favor, she could just for the numbers game until they get to merge.
Right. And then some extra context here, you know, from King Ferris, saying that, you know, I found it very suspicious that Eileen told me right before the votes to play my idol. What the edit doesn't show is me being sus on Eileen the entire day.
Which is a very fair point, because we saw how hesitant Eileen was with some of, you know, Garrick and Ferris's plans.
And the thing is, like,
when trying to flush it out.
Yep. And when Eileen said, I think you should play your idol, there was nothing, not that I know Ferris so well, judging his face or anything like that, but there was nothing on his face that even insinuated to me that he was giving that any thought.
Right.
You know, it was just like, okay. Yeah. So Ferris said, if Garrick told me to play it and gave some context as to why he thinks it's him, I would have played it. Yeah, because all Garrick did was just say, I think it's me. I think it's me. And that could have been prompted by the things that Eileen said all leading up to this. No, it's who did you vote for? Right.
I'm not even sure if Garrick said, I think it's me. I almost think all he said was, I think I might be in trouble. Like, well,
there were more than one.
This is my idol.
There was more than one time in that tribal where he was like, dude, it's me. Like, he said it to somebody else and then he said it to Ferris.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I mean, like, knowing that I'm already kind of in somebody's crosshairs and I have this idol, if somebody turned to me and said, listen, it's going to be me, like, please, like, I'm going to continue working with you, you know, in this game, use your idol on me. I know that I need it right now. I think that's a little different than being like, I think it might be me. I think I might be
especially because, like, me being the way that I am, how often are people go, no, it's me, I'm getting voted out, and there actually, like, is no chance that it's going to be that. Like, I would be the person at every tribal, like, well, I'm going home. It's obviously me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, if everybody played an idol, the second that one of their allies was like, I think I'm in trouble.
I'm shit out of luck. Sorry about it.
So many of these seasons would have changed.
Yeah.
In every version of it, you know, Survivor around the world.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. It's also interesting that I don't feel like we have this many interesting conversations around American Survivor.
No,
we don't. There's just not. But I do think that some of this has to do with the fact that we're going in US Survivor with these 3 super small, like, micro tribes.
I've said that all season long. Yeah.
And it's like in Australian Survivor, you get these two big tribes where there's enough room for alliances to grow, but
There's
also
room for
rivalries to
fluidity
form.
here.
Yeah, like
Yes,
you can
you
build
have
rivalries not
your options.
yeah, like you can build rivalries not just between the tribes, but within the tribes.
Right.
You can build
And
alliances. Like
it's two big tribes,
it's
and they start with more, don't they? They start with more players from the get, even before a two.
yeah. We start with 3 tribes of 6. So that's
Yes, we
18.
only have 18.
They start with 2 tribes of 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot more like gameplay to be had, even within tribes, not just outside of tribes. And it's like, and there's also a lot more of like tribe swapping and things like that. You know, like
I mean, we have tribe swapping in America, but it doesn't mean anything because like no one has any like it's just not real. It doesn't really feel like our game even really begins until you get to merge. And then even then it's like, well, who cares? Bye, King. Thanks for hanging out.
we love you, King Ferris. Thanks for stopping by.
I love it. We love it. But yeah, I don't know. Like it really, we've messed the game up.
We lose out on so much gameplay because then even the game doesn't really start until you get to merge. But by the time you get to merge, the little groups of people are so solid because like that's all they've had. You know, you'll have like groups of 2 that have had to maneuver through like one tribe losing every competition. That like we as viewers don't know anybody else, and how much gaming is there really to be done? Because it's like, oh, this is the tribe that I'm with, and that's the tribe that you're with, and now we're just going to take shots at each other. So it's not like there's really a lot of commingling that's happening.
Nothing. People don't even have enough time to formulate a game. Once people have a target in mind, like there's no way for them to come back. Yeah, you can't have conversations to swing enough people another way. It's no longer a numbers game. It's just
it comes down to like,
you're leaving. So you're
leaving. 2 people vote here and 3 people vote there, and that's the game.
Thank you. Goodbye.
And then think about the fact that in the last season, and I will say, Survivor 45, I enjoyed. It was a decent season. But think about it, like US Survivor already starts with 6 less players than Australian Survivor. And in this season of Survivor US in 45, 2 players dropped out. It's like we only had 16 players when you really think about it. So
yeah, I mean, if you're going to stick to 3, then at least let us have 24.
Right.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, 3 tribes of 8. People. Yeah, 3 tribes of 8.
I still wouldn't like it. Still wouldn't like it, but that's better.
It still wouldn't work, but it's better.
Yeah,
it's not ideal.
Well, because you know, I feel like 3 tribes of 6 makes it very easy to get like a majority. You know what I mean? Where at least if you have 8 people in a tribe, it's a little more difficult to get everybody on the same page. Like I don't know.
Because immediately the conversation just goes, oh well, who sucked in today's challenge? Oh, just them.
Yeah.
It's very easy to just get 4 to say, okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
that's the middle-aged mafia.
Right.
And it's also like as soon as one tribe starts losing, if there's only 6 people, they're going to keep losing because then there's just not enough people to compete with everybody else. So then you get one tribe that's down to like 2 or 3 people and everybody else is still at 6. And then we as viewers don't ever see any other tribes because they're never going to tribal. So we don't get any of their conversations. We don't know what their social hierarchy looks like.
We don't even know their names. It's just whether it's, Kyle or John running the conversation because we set up the graphics is why we know the people's names. Otherwise, the other 2 of us, we don't know.
Yeah,
but then that's how you get situations like Erica, where it's like she was the dark horse and she was the winner. It was this big thing, but we didn't know her for the majority of the season because we just never saw her tribe.
Which is so disrespectful to her. You fucking won the whole entire game.
We have no idea what her social game was before that.
Everyone wants to discount her game, and it's like, well, that's not totally fair because she definitely did.
Yeah, we just didn't see it.
Right. Somebody thought her game was worth something. That's why they voted for her to win.
Right.
But it's like it's a shame that we don't get to see it. Yeah. Yeah.
And especially in that season, particularly, it was only 60 minutes. Where this season of U.S. Survivor, we had 90 minutes, and Australian Survivor is always over an hour.
Right.
Always.
And multiple times a week.
Yes. And I do think
3 times a week.
We enjoyed this season a little bit more than we enjoyed the other ones because it did
45?
give us a little bit more context. Yeah, 45.
45 was by far my favorite season of U.S. that we've watched.
Yeah, because it gave us a little bit more context as to like what the hell was going on. Yeah.
It really is so true though, because it's so funny because like I love all these versions of Survivor that we watch, and I really enjoyed 45. But now that Australian Survivor has picked up again, I'm like, this really is what Survivor is supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Right.
it's
This
like
is Survivor.
they do everything so well. You might not love every single, challenge that they do. You might not love every single, twist that they do or reward that they do or whatever. But like this, just the production, the quality, the cast, like the format of the game is just so much. It's so far superior in Australia than it is here. I'm sorry.
And that's a shame, because if you go back to older seasons of US Survivor, it was like this. Like this is what it used to be. And that's what's really a shame, is that you tried to be such a trendsetter here and you destroyed it.
Well, was it being a trendsetter, or did it start as a COVID thing? Because the 3 tribes was a COVID thing, wasn't it?
Well, I just think it was just the whole drop to 4, start to 1, but starting brand new. Like, I don't know. What was that a result of COVID?
That was the first season after COVID, so I just assumed that it was till like
maybe Matt can help us with this. I don't remember if the COVID thing caused it to go to 3 smaller tribes. I don't know if it was 3 tribes before that. Like I know they definitely like decreased the number of players to 18. I don't know if that like the number of tribes switched because of COVID. I'm not sure.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It totally sucks.
I'm sure Matt will have an answer for us.
Yeah. Just play regular Survivor and stop playing games. Because so many of them before that were kind of like, this theme and this theme, like, Winners at War, or like whatever it was, David and Goliath, like some of those themes were like 1 and 1. So Matt says, the 26 days was a COVID thing for sure, but I think the 3 tribes was done specifically to give players less room to hide. Boo.
Yeah, why would we want less room to hide? Don't we want more scheming, more? Yeah, like more like backstabbing and
go play. This is like, you've got Uno. And then you've got all those other stupid games like that Uno, the machine that spits cards at you, and like all this other junk. And it's like, no, I just want regular Uno. I don't want to spin off. Don't give me funny cards and have all these special powers. Isn't there also like that one Uno you can like write rules on the card? It's like, get the hell out of here. Just give me Uno. Regular black and white cards, colors on the other side. That's it. Stop playing Uno Attack. That's what it's called.
Uno Attack. Yes. We at work have been playing Uno No Mercy, and that one's wild.
I don't know anything about that. I will say I do have friends Uno, but tell me not to dare. I will diss Uno Attack. I will never play that game. You bring that to my house, I'll throw you and the game out. Absolutely not. Uno Attack. Just give me regular ass Uno. Just give me regular Survivor. Just play a basic game. Okay. Basic Betty over here. Basic Betty.
Basic Betty.
Not Basic Betty.
Matt Blevins' Dose already exists. It's a spin-off of Uno. I've played it. We have it at the apartment.
Yeah, I've seen Dose on the Amazon. And I will not order it. All right. I only know Uno. Stop trying to ruin a good thing. All right. My 5th grade elementary teacher said, "Keep it simple, stupid."
Yeah, of course, the KISS method.
Just leave it alone. If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw the lean in. I said, "This is my time to shine."
I thought you were going to say, if it ain't broke. If it ain't broke.
And I'm leaning into the microphone. All of it was stupid. All of it was. All right, I've had enough. Is there anything else for Australian Survivor for week 3?
Mm-mm.
No, I just can't wait to see what Feras does next, because he's still got an idol. He's a smart player. He's a strong player. I'm excited to see that. And we got to be getting close to the merge. I mean,
I hope so.
That's the thing. Like at the start of this week, we had lost 6 players, right? So we had gone down from 24 to 18. Now with this week, we've lost 3 more, so we're down to 15 already. And I feel like the merge has to be
going into this week. I think we only lost 5.
didn't we lose? I feel like haven't we lost one every episode? And there's been
Well,
three.
No.
one of them because Kelly.
One of them was the Kelly.
Oh, that's right. So
Wow.
we've lost 8. So we've lost 8.
Mm-hmm.
So we're down to 16, not 15.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I could see us being maybe at least on Merge Eve by the end of this week.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. So I feel like
it feels like that's how they would want to start the next week. They seem to really like to hype up the Sunday episode. So like maybe Tuesday will be Merge Eve. And then so wait,
this
let's
is
look
a really
look at the calendar. So maybe we should be merging, I would expect, by Feb 25.
Okay.
I would like to be merged before we go up north for Big Brother.
Yeah, for Big Brother Canada.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a really big week then.
It's a huge week. It's a huge week.
Matt says he definitely thinks that we're merging after next week. So if you make it past next week and you're still in the game, whether on the top or the bottom, your game can change dramatically. Yeah. So
absolutely.
So you know what? As much as I'm upset that Garrick has gone, really glad that this week, coming into this week, Ferris still has his idol. So
right. That's the unfortunate thing about Garrick's exit. I didn't want him to go, but I hate to say that. There's a version of me that's okay with it because the king is safe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the 29th. Yeah, we should definitely be chatting merge by the 29th for sure. For sure. That's in 2 weeks. Absolutely. All right. So what's next? February 19th, 7 p.m. We're chatting the Traders US. Okay, Traders US. Which looked like it was an exciting episode. I only watched about half because then I did
half more than I watched.
And set the coffee.
The coffee.
The coffee. And then on the 22nd, we're back. We're back with 2 streams. We are wrapping up the Challenge 39. All right, finally over. I was seeing some inklings that All Stars 4 is coming in March. Yeah, I'd really like for that to not be true because March is jam-packed.
Yeah.
Jam-packed. But also on the 22nd at 10:15, obviously we're back recapping week 4 in the Australian Survivor universe. What is happening in March? Big Brother Canada is back on March 5th, which means our first stream will be March 7th. Times to be determined.
I can't wait to see Arissa again.
I can't wait to see Arissa again. I could see that being our new 8 o'clock show, since the challenge will be over by then.
Yep.
That could be nice. Especially because now Big Brother Canada is on a different schedule this season. I believe it's either a Monday. I think it's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No.
Sunday, Monday, Wednesday.
Sunday, Monday, or Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Something. I don't know.
I know that eviction, the bottom line.
There is a Wednesday.
Right. Evictions have been moved to Wednesdays. However the rest shakes out, I don't remember. But evictions are definitely on Wednesdays.
Yep.
You love that?
It feels like Arissa did that just for us so that we could podcast about it at 8 o'clock on Thursdays.
I guess that's cute. I have mixed feelings. I do like the excitement. Like part of the fun of Big Brother is knowing that we are going to be live within 15 minutes.
Immediately after an eviction, yeah.
Right. I do like that about our Big Brother. But that's okay. That's all right. We're still going to be sticking to the Thursdays. Matt, we do not know if live feeds are back. We're hoping not to be back to the digital dilly-dallies.
The dilly-dallies.
The dilly-dallies that we won't be watching. So that'll be happening, obviously, March 7th will be the first BB Can stream. Also in that same week, Celebrity Big Brother UK will be starting. I am toying with the idea of blocking out time on my work calendar to make sure that I'm watching live at 4 p.m. To recap immediately after. So Consider Me Chuffed is coming back. Thank you very much. And I'm, chuffed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. You can find us in the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We're everywhere you want to be. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, toss us a subscription. Leave us a review. Do something nice. Tell a friend. And continue to hang out with us live. And if there's nothing else, I think we're done, right? We're out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bunch of satisfied chatters. Thanks for hanging. We're outies.